Good day, brethren. Today we continue with the commentary from the book of Ruth, and we continue from where we stopped from yesterday, which was chapter 1. So we move into chapter 2. So we follow on with Ruth and Naomi after they return back to the land of Israel. And Ruth said to her mother-in-law, Naomi, that she wants to go out to glean among the sheaves. And I think something that stood out to me here was in Leviticus, the Lord when giving the laws to the Israelites, they were instructed not, especially the farmers, not to take everything completely from the field when harvesting. They should leave some for the poor and people that don't have as much as they do. So the fact that Ruth knows about this and asked her mother-in-law that she was going to do this, it just brought to my attention how much immersed Ruth was already with the Hebrew culture and the ways of the Israelites. And she brought this to her mother-in-law's own attention that she was going to do this. So she sets out and she goes to various farms, and eventually she ends up in the farm that belongs to a prominent and rich relative of Elimelech's family, and his name was Boaz. And Boaz is shown to be a kind man, because he comes back, despite him being described as prominent and rich, he was shown to be greeting those that were working for him. He was greeting his harvesters, and he was saying, God be with you, and they were happy to see him, and they replied like, God bless you. And Ruth caught his eyes, and he was like, who is this young lady and where did she come from? And his foreman informed him that Ruth is the Moabite lady that came with Naomi from the land of Moab, and that she asked for permission to glean, and that she wanted to gather among the sheaves following after the harvest, and she has been at it ever since, from morning till now. So, and she has not even taken a break. And of course, they noted her hard work and her work ethic. And when Boaz heard this, we could see that immediately that Ruth found favor in his eyes. And I think it's from Psalms where God says, where the psalmist said that favor covers him like a shield. And I think it's exactly the same thing that happened in this story, because Ruth, being from another country, not knowing anybody here apart from Naomi, and coming to work in farms, like it was stated severally during this chapter about people not treating her correctly, like the fear of people not treating her correctly. But she found herself in a farm that belonged to a relative. And also, she found favor in the sight of Boaz. And Boaz even instructed his servants to treat her properly and to even give her more than she was expected to take. And of course, Ruth expressed her kindness. But something that stood out to me was when she was saying that you have touched my heart and treated me like one of your own, and I don't even belong here. As somebody that has traveled a lot and is currently not staying in their home country, I somewhat understand how Ruth was feeling in this situation, because she was not from there. She doesn't know a lot of people. She's a foreigner, and from the looks of it, a lot of people already know that she's not from there and she's a foreigner. So the probability that she will be taken advantage of was really high. And of course, God did not allow that to happen, and she found favor in the sight of Boaz. So when she said this, it just confirmed it to me, like I could understand and I could relate to how she was feeling. So, and of course, after she finished working on the farm, she even had a lot to eat, and she took back what she got from the farm, and it was a lot, even more than what was expected. And also, the food that remained after she ate, she took some back to her mother-in-law. And when she told her mother-in-law of all this, her mother-in-law was excited because she felt relieved for her, because there was no more danger. At least she knows who owns this farm, and she told her to stick close to the young women that work on the farm, and that there's no danger for her. So, and then we continue on this chapter. At the end of the chapter, we're told that Ruth continued living with her mother-in-law, and she also continued going to the farm. This is where we end the commentary for today, and have a blessed day, and may God continually reveal more to us as we continually read the book of Ruth. Thank you very much.